Well, it's been a wild week for the Pogue's Garage redevelopment deal. It looked to be in jeopardy over an unresolved lease dispute until the project's developer, Flaherty & Collins, agreed to cover moving costs for the building's remaining tenant, Paragon Salon. Mayor John Cranley said he had expected the developer to cover all those costs all along.
What our lawyers tell me is that their disputes with the developer, we put $12 million on the table for the developer. That should be more than enough to deal with this.
Well, the original deal called for the demolition of Pogue's Garage at the northwest corner of the intersection and construction of a 30-story apartment tower with a grocery on the ground floor. The proposal, unanimously approved by City Council last year, appropriates $12 million for the project and calls for Flaherty & Collins to acquire new market tax credits to finance it. Well, reporter Chris Wetteridge first broke this story and has been following it all week. He joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio with more on what's happened and what's expected to happen next.
Thanks, Peg. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So the big question is this going to happen? This is a fast-moving story all week long. You've had 158 stories, I think, so far this week. But is this going to happen? This is a 30-story tower, a big, big deal.
You know, it's an open question. The mayor said that he wants to have 3CDC review it still, even after Flaherty & Collins has come forward and said, you know, we'll write a check, you know. So I think we're going to have to see the end of that review. I think the mayor's a little bit more cold to this project maybe than some members of the city council, so I still think there's a potential for a conflict between him and the council over whether this gets done or not.
What's Cranley's biggest complaint?
You know, he's got a lot of them. He thinks that the project was over-subsidized. The city's putting $12 million into it. He thinks that that is too much money and more than it has put in other places. That's the main thing. He's also concerned about the project getting these tax credits. They're known as new market tax credits for kind of poor, disadvantaged areas. So he's not sure that they're going to be able to get every dollar of those tax credits they need to. So he's concerned that if they don't get those, they might come back to council and be like, well, we need a couple more $1 million. So he's concerned that that could happen as well. So that's why he's asked Steve Lieber at 3CDC to look at it. And
why is 3CDC interested in helping? I mean, they've got their hands full and over the Rhine. They're redeveloping that whole part of town.
Yeah.
Why the central business district?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because this is kind of the type of thing that they would do. Chris Seelbach, the council member who helped come up with the idea of them reviewing it, says they're not interested in taking it over or anything, but they're viewed as the experts on this type of development in town. So they feel like they have the expertise to take a good hard look at it.
So is 3CDC still going to be involved if the developer has said we'll take care of moving Paragon Salon, which is the place that's sort of holding the key here? Does 3CDC have to still be involved at all?
Well, the mayor wants them to be, and Seelbach seems like he's okay with them taking a look at the fundamentals of the deal and determining whether they're good for the city.
Have you talked to anybody who has any complaints at all about just the idea of having a big 30-story tower? Is anybody against the idea of development?
I mean, the one thing that people are really excited about is this is going to have a grocery store at the base in downtown, which is the first full-service grocery store that downtown has had in anybody's memory, at least recently.
Great. Hey, Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.